Hello and welcome to the Razuni Broadcasting Channel, bringing you news about the Razuni Sultanate and all of Eldham. First, we'll be talking about the news within our great country. Second, will be news about the whole world. And last, will be the changes to the borders of the world. First off, in weird news, there is a wall that has been built on the border of Sondor by at least a player of the IGN of RaphusG and goes from Medina to the southern tip of Sondor, cutting off the Razuni Sultanate to the Zamots Union. It has been built next to a river on the inside of it, going just inside the border of the Razuni Sultanate. Some parts of it are claimed by the builder. Trees have also been left floating inside of Sondor, cut down at the bottom. All of these combined breaks multiple Sondor laws as well as Razuni federal laws, angering Emir DerAutist greatly. This conflict started about a month ago when the small city of Moria claimed a large chunk of land on the Sondorian side of the river and built a dock area that still exists to this day. The Sultan managed to push them back and removed their claims, returning it to the side of the Razuni. On the 15th of August 2021, Captain Dreyfus Harad noticed a new settlement called Piedonia had claimed under the river and on the Razuni side. The owner of the settlement, RaphusG, was a member of Moria, which is right next to the new settlement. Dreyfus asked the owner to remove the claims on the Razuni side. They agreed, at which point Dreyfus left. On the 16th of August 2021, Emir DerAutist found the wall and originally blamed Mount Augusta due to previous issues he had with them destroying trees and because they now claimed territory on the Razuni side of the river. After discussion with Mount Augusta, Moria, and Azelakut, it was discovered that it was in fact RaphusG, the same person Captain Dreyfus Harad had asked to remove their claim, that had built the wall. He then refused to remove the wall, claiming they were breaking the Geneva Convention, and then proceeded to ignore all other attempts at communication. Supposedly, the owner of Moria has agreed to send RaphusG to trial in Sondor. The court took place on the 17th of July 2021. The laws involved in the punishment being legality, gray zones, definition, special cases, squatters, crimes done by non-Sondorians, land payment, rivers, and illegal land claims. After doing some investigation, RaphusG got a fine of $15,000. In addition, he needs to remove the whole wall, and also he needs to remove his claims he did in the Sondorian lands. Because of some actions he told us made by the Mauryan government, the leader of the Mauryan village is next going to court. The date is still not chosen. Next up, an election in Sondor has been started to elect a law minister. Two people, Siani and Squidian, ran for the position. Both Siani and Sir Squidian are friends of Emir DerAutist. The election ended on the 16th of August 2021, with the winner of the election being Sir Squidian, who won the election with 3 votes in total, while Siani had 2 votes. From now on, inactive citizens are no longer allowed to vote in Sondor, due to Squid mostly having been voted on by inactive citizens. On the 17th of August 2021, it had been revealed that Jack Sakar, the now former Sultan, and thought to have been brought back to life even by Edmund Whitlock, Rizzy's character name, whom had resurrected him, had only been a spirit brought to life to finish some business. He has now finished his business and departed after guiding his son Indo ibn al-Malik Sakar in ruling the Razuni Sultanate, as well as announcing him as his heir. It is sad that he was not brought back fully, but perhaps it is better that he has been put to rest this final time. And may Indo ibn al-Malik Sakar have a long and prosperous reign. Next is the War of the Black Flag, fought between the Shirakanezan anti-bandit force and the Empire of Aristios against the Barbosan coalition, which included the pirate state of Barbosa, the Berry Bandits, the state of Uraka, the Empire of Ravengard, the United Provinces of Stoneguard, the state of Skilder-Brodier, the Simulani Empire, the Nodunum of Ternsbia, the Brotherhood of Olfang, and the Free States of Tortuga. On the 4th of August, after a Barbosan ally, the Emperor of Aldovir, threatened to go to war with Shirakaneza, the two sides began diplomatic talks for a peaceful alternative to conflict. Although Aldovir eventually withdrew its threats to Shirakaneza, Barbosa stood their ground. Shirakaneza felt that their demands to Barbosa were justified, demanding the end of bandit harboring in cities such as the Isle of Krakens. Barbosa, on the other hand, believed that this was a demand too extreme, as they are a country founded by and largely populated by pirates. Ultimately, negotiations froze on August 5th with the Barbosan leader, Sarlkan, exiting negotiations. On August 6th, the Zamots Union would send an ultimatum to Barbosa, doubling down on their demands and threatening war if Barbosa did not comply. Barbosa declined the ultimatum publicly minutes after it was sent. Both sides then immediately prepared for war. Both of them still had communication, deciding a battle location and peace terms. Barbossa had wide connections, leading the Anti-Bandit League to believe the only issue was numbers. Commanders of Barbossa were left with only a general plan and with control of their armies, with no central chain of command. The Barbossan coalition was uncoordinated, and the disappearance of their captain, Captain Leuxos, only added to the lack of coordination. The battle was viewed as a decisive Zamote's victory by both sides, the consequences of which meant that Barbossa could no longer be a pirate state, transforming into a mercantile state that removed all pirates and bandits from its land, and would not engage in any direct or indirect conflict with Zamotes. According to one source, the death toll was 1 Zamotian soldier and 35 Barbossan soldiers. Another source estimates 3 Zamotian deaths and 88 Barbossan deaths. Captain Leuxos estimates 20 unique coalition deaths. Globally, the perception of anti-bandit leagues began to shift. With a single anti-bandit league able to destroy a coalition led by bandits, the idea of fighting back bandits on a global scale began to gain traction. The Zamote Union hailed the victory as a turning point in this regard, the leader, King Okomi I, stating that, "Today also marks the end of an era where citizens lock their doors in fear of bandits who plunder and destroy everything in their wake. Today we have begun taking that fight to them." Before we talk about the border changes, we have some breaking news to talk about. Our video editor, Alainap, has gotten kidnapped by members of Stoneworks on the 18th of August 2021. Stoneworks is a city located in the nation of Skjoldrbrodir. Alainap had been imprisoned by Gracioso. Even after asking several times, he refused to release Alainap, so the Razuni Sultanate, the nation Alainap is part of, decided to help her and attack the city. After entering the city, the Sultan noticed she was detained in a tower located in the middle of the city. Entering the city, the army of Stoneworks already had been waiting for the soldiers from the Razuni Sultanate. As you can see in the background, the war included many violent scenes. After minutes of battle, it was clear that the defenders had a big advantage. Not only did they have a bigger army, but they also knew their terrain and city better. That was one of the reasons why many Razuni soldiers lost their lives in this war. Not even after an hour the Sultanate was defeated. Being sad that everyone was useless and they would never see Alainap come back to the nation, suddenly the people from Stoneworks noticed Alainap was no longer in the tower. It seemed like she used the battle as a diversion to escape the city, meaning Alainap was free again and the Sultanate had their Minister of Foreign Affairs back. This is all of the news for this week, and see you next week for more RBC, bringing news about the Razuni Sultanate and the whole of Eldham.
Now we will look at the border changes. Since this is our first episode, here is a short explanation of how this will be working. We will show you a map from last week and this week. Both were published by the Guilds of Rathir and Eldham Discord bot. The red circles are surrounding the areas where something got changed, so you will get an update on the Eldham world. First of which may be the most obvious change, and this is the growth of Titania. Barbarossa, Rodenbrook, Mercury, Draka, and Tyrrhenia have all combined to become Titania. Next up, the Tsardom Abbasadir is now part of the Ostrokan Wandererish Empire. Also, Aristoros lost some lands to Radoriv. Other nations which have combined themselves are Seaburg or Tarkavia, some ex-Barbarossan states which are now called the Z-Draken Union. And the nation of Helming is now part of the COG. But last but not least, some nations have renamed themselves, which were Avaria to Yavaria, Mincharo to Cordova, and Presevo to Presevo. If your nation or your changes have not been listed in that, we are sorry. Since this is our first episode, we will do better next time. Thank you so much.